Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've got a new deck for you. This is a Precision Enslave deck, and we're calling it that because we are able to get pretty thin. I wouldn't call this hyper thin, but we do get pretty thin. We get a lot of cards we like. We got some fun stuff that we can do with Letho Kingslayer. Damien's made a little bit of a comeback here. Lots of fun stuff that we can do. This is as good as I could get with Nilfgaard. A lot of people out there asking me for some competitive Nilfgaard decks, and I'm just going to continue to say what I've said before. If you're trying to go for 4 decks that are working well, don't include Nilfgaard. They're just struggling right now. It's not good. It is not healthy for the game balance. I'm honestly kind of surprised there wasn't a hot fix to just buff them. I know that probably would have made a lot of people mad. Okay, and so as always, I'm gonna tell you guys, make sure you're making progress on all of these. Got to reach level 160 to get the Scarlet one. But in order to get this hat, you need to wear this robe 100 times. Just get it done. Get all the stuff. Get all the things. I need to play a lot of games in the next few days. We have 8 days left in this season, though, so make them count. Alright, so with this deck, the one other thing I was going to point out for you guys before I jump into a game here, I did add in Yen's Invocation. I had previously run this deck with Ciri Dash, which works really well. You can use her to get that extra card. I found, though, that because of how thin this deck gets and how much it lacks in other departments, it was hard to actually get enough points. Even when I had like Letho Kingslayer down and I had like triple last say, I would still lose because it just doesn't. Nilfgaard just doesn't have the points. So I instead went for Yen's Invo just because we can steal what's good from the opponent. And if it's done in an early round, you can go ahead and play it. If it's done in a late round, you can't do that, but you can still make them really annoyed. It is Enslave 5 instead of Enslave 6. I typically do prefer Enslave 6. What are you going to do? Enslave 6 is really good, especially against Scoia'tael.
You shall die.
I have like really bad allergies today, so if I stop to take drinks or sneeze, please don't blame me. It's just me living my best life. So a few things. So we do actually run marching orders in here, which lets you play the lowest unit. If you don't get Fifion to hand, you can use Albrecht to boost him up to 3 and get him out that way. We do run Roderick. So Roderick is another 2, Menno is another 2, but our biggest goal here is actually to go ahead and get out Artorias. He's the only other 2 in here, so we're going to target marching orders with Menno and then get out the Imperial Brigades. Oh, unless we get it anyway, in which case we'll use him for something else. I don't want to break into anything else, but we're going to take a risk, and it paid off. So one of the things you do want to do is have some flexibility to just go at it hard with your leader ability. Damien with Letho and Fifion gives you that flexibility. Yeah, not a whole lot to say other than that. We do need to get out a soldier first, so I do actually really like Menno with battle prep. Just gets him out, bulked up. It's going to kind of deny dominance here. I could alternatively go for Royal Decree onto Hefty Helga. But we're going to be able to get out some decent thinning here with Artorias and Imperial Brigade. So we can just hope for Helga in a future round with that thinning. So here we're just going to go for Menno.
Nothing will stop us.
And this is good, thinning as well. Battle prep is good on Menno, but that's about it. But welcome to everyone joining up in the game. As always, I'm recording on Twitch. Simultaneous with shooting my YouTube videos. I only get so much time in a day, so I gotta make it count. Here we had Menno wiped out by Predatory Dive. Should have probably played around that, but I didn't expect that trade. Though it is really kind of a genius trade, let's be honest with ourselves. I'd prefer to save Roderick. I don't really love having to get out Artorias here, and we do need a soldier down. So now the question is when and where and how do we want to play those? Fifion will obviously be the target. So here, all things considered, we're going to go ahead and use Albrick, and we're going to target our Hefty Helga. We'll probably just get out of this round after 3 turns. And it is a unit, so it is going to get boosted by 2. Really hard for monsters to remove Helga, by the way. I mean, Predatory Dive works nicely for them, but other than that, it's just kind of difficult. Now here, I actually really like forcing them to brick here, and we do need just another play anyway. So that unit's locked. Now they can't use that Death Wish ability. They have fixed that for some cards like Ruhin, where the Death Wish, after it's locked, it's kind of game over. And here the opponent will have to play one more card. They can obviously Purify, but it's not going to do them a lot of good to have to play again, so we've kind of forced them to splice that card across 2 different rounds, which is almost certainly not what their goal was. It's like putting an Infiltrator in their deck. Now I do like Fire Scorpions, especially against monsters, since I can kind of tempo up with them, so they get points, but in case there's a Predatory Dive, it'll protect Helga a little bit here too. But just because I don't want them to run away with the score, we're going to go ahead and target this Ikran with Assassination here pretty soon. We alternatively can just steal it with Yen's Invo though. So we're going to keep our options open. We'll start with Fire Scorpion. Yen's Invo works really well here actually, just because we're able to prevent the opponent from using Ozrel on it. So this 4-point trade is pretty good. They also get a drone out of that, so that works nicely for the opponent. Now we do want to keep track of our... So they were going to go for the consume there. We do want to keep track of our golds. We've got Artorias, Kahir, Royal Decree, and Ikran. Ikran I don't want to have to play till next round, just because we know it's on top of the deck anyway. But also, I don't want the opponent to be able to consume it from a graveyard, either mine or their own. So here instead, what we're going to do... We'll go ahead and get down Helga. Obviously, another Predatory Dive would be deeply problematic. But this works out fine for us. I think we'll just use Assassination here.
Target acquired.
So one fun thing you can also do with this deck, you can use Kahir obviously and double the Kahir with Letho. You can double the Damien with Letho, or actually my preferred mode lately has been to double Helga. Obviously we weren't able to do that round, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. So we're gonna put these back, still looking to use this marching orders onto Artorias. We are missing Kahir, so we are gonna take a risk here. I think Tourney Joust is of less value. Alright, so not the greatest options for us there. He is one of our... So we are going to be able to get him no matter what. I do want to get Artorias out first. I also want to play around... some of the other annoying things our opponent might do, but we're going to go ahead and start with Ikran. Comes out with 8 armor, so Predatory Dive obviously would take care of the Ikran. Adrenaline Rush is decent tempo play, but it doesn't really do much. Now, if I want to be really cheeky, I could actually just buff up the Ikran even further. But I do want the extra 2 points here. I do think it is going to matter. This heat wave is obviously annoying. Can't be too happy about that. We now start to run into a problem where we're going to run out of soldiers to use. I don't think there's going to be much for us to snatch, so we're just going to go ahead and get Damien out.
To my dying breath.
I anticipated that was a possibility, but I want to get out the 6-point removal first. Striga's probably the next closest thing the opponent can get to ruining it, but we now can get out Kahir and double up Kahir with Letho.
Out of the way, rabble!
We just need a soldier so we can get Artorias out. The opponent appears to be running my old organic swarm deck, or a really close approximation of it. It looks like they're probably running it, but with crones maybe. Rock slide. Oh my god. Alright, well, no way to deal with Ickern. So another thing we can do, and I think it's what I'm going to do here, we're going to go ahead and play marching orders. We're going to get Artorias, and then we're going to actually play a Fire Scorpion. Just so, at a minimum, we can ping off these 1-point units. But the opponent might be going for Glusty. Oh, well played. Now we can still string together something with Turning Joust and Assassination and use our leader. So we're still going to wait on that. We're going to try to grab a Fire Scorpion again and then use Letho to transform. We are able to get it. Welcome to Q-Chef. Thanks for the raid. I'm just shooting a YouTube video for next week, doing trying to find a deck that works for Nilfgaard. Hopefully we can get this one to work out for us. But thank you so much for joining. It's going well, man. How are you doing? So Letho actually does count as a card played that's different from the one in your deck because he transforms and deploys. So that's why we see that Assimilate proc on Artorias. The opponent goes for boost there. I think here we're going to go ahead and use shield on this Fire Scorpion since it's worth a little bit more. I think we're going to see a Crone come back. I'm going to go ahead and steal this one because why not? And then we'll use 2 of these charges. Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a little while since I've seen you up and going. Glad to have you back, man. Obviously, the Kahir would have been really nice, so we were able to deny this Ickern play. So this Ozra only plays for 6 points. Can't say I'm too sad about that. And then we just trade for value. I'm guessing we're gonna see a Crone come down for damage, though. So. Not a lot we can do. It's Goliath. That wasn't expected. Alright, so we got a little bit behind on some of the plays here. I think our draws in round 1 were kind of suboptimal, but we'll get right into another game. It's rough, man. Nilfgaard is struggling this season. I don't know what you guys think. Has anybody found a deck that can work for Nilfgaard? Let me know. We'll try this out one more time. What were you guys playing on your stream today?
Yield and save me some time.
Alright, Caraspace is always fun. I anticipate most of the time I'm seeing Kelly decks, but if you are watching on YouTube, you might have liked our deck named Greed that we are posted up yesterday. And for those of you on Twitch, I'm actually doing these in reverse order because I was fearing doing a Nilfgaard deck most. So I'm going to be doing a really fun Caraspace greed deck next. That's a ton of fun. I do want a decent amount of punish. I'm really waiting for the Siri to get played early because they always like to play Siri early. But I need a way to punish Cave Troll. Assassination's usually enough, and then we can use Leader to pull it over. Then Artorias is always just a good grab if we can get a soldier out. So we're gonna go. This is gonna be good for us. I made a collusion deck a few seasons ago that was a bunch of fun. There's a couple of really cool cards, but I think some of the new ones with some of the reworks this season make it even more playable than it was before. It's just a kind of a weird, clunky 11 provision crime card that you have to have like a decent amount of setup for. But I love Bloody Good Friends with that because you get the cut-ups and the crown splitters all together in one. Alright, so we got to make a blue coin play here, something that we don't really love doing. And we're going to go Royal Decree onto Menno, which seems a little crazy, but we get decent thinning here. And just pray this opponent doesn't use the same thing the last one did. On to battle prep.
Bards across the Empire will sing of this day.
The one good thing about this deck too, we're low on units, so it is actually a pretty good counter to Kelly. And for those of you unfamiliar, Kelly is the Keltalist deck. A lot of monsters players with Caraspace like to run. Often they run double Siri dash, and regular Siri. And this is exactly what I wanted them to do. So here we get 6 damage. So he's going to go down to 5. And then we just go ahead and use Enslave. And he's now our homeboy. We'll get him boosted up. So we do have to think twice about a... yeah, this is fine. So it is at the end of their turn, so we are going to lose Menno here, which is a little unfortunate. But it's not the end of the world. We do have to decide how much do we want Keltalus versus how much do we want, you know, a different card like Siri. But since we are a low unit deck, Keltalus is really tempting, and I think we can do some fun stuff with him. Plus, we already have a defender, so we can get out stuff like Kahir or Damien and do some fun things. So we're just going to go ahead and steal the Keltalus here. It's also a lot of points generally, right? I mean, that was buffed up to 12 points. And then we see Siri Dash come down. They do put down and commit the Veil. So a couple of ideas we have here. We can go ahead and just take the pass if we want it, since we're on red coin. We can try to compete for this, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to play out Damien, and again, he's protected here. Keltalus is gone, so we can refresh the leader ability next turn and steal this Siri. The opponent generously played it to melee row. Don't do that. And we're just going to be able to steal it back over to our side. Just giving it a ton of boost to try to get it out of the way. So here we do have to kind of make some decisions. I can just go ahead and refresh the leader ability and then go ahead and pass. But the opponent is going to get back a card. We don't run any Purifies. So that being the case, I think we're going to go for... so the dangerous thing about playing this marching orders, we could actually get a gold card instead, which would be less than awesome. But we'll see what we get. We do get lucky.
The senses can be fooled easily.
So we get good tempo here. But Kelly is kind of the big play that this deck likes to make. And here you'll see exactly why I made the decision to no longer include the Siri Dash in my deck. Obviously, it's a little tougher against monsters just because monsters have so much point play and value. So this actually works out really well for us. So we have a couple options here. I'm going to save Kahir. So instead, I'm just going to damage this. I'm going to seal it back over to my side. And we pretty much put this away. The opponent's going to have some decent card advantage here. Just because they were able to draw up to 6. But that's fine with me. We carry first round. We can go ahead and pass. The Kelly deck doesn't really know how to play when you just win first round with 10 cards for the final round. And I'm fine with that. There's going to be a lot of boosting that goes on with the deck, and not a ton of removal. And so we're going to be able to play pretty well around that. So we do want to try to get as many tactic cards as possible for a couple reasons. One, we do have Kelly, and we're going to be able to play Kelly behind Fifion, with possibly Kahir, Letho, and Helga. So we have a lot of units, and we just want to make sure that we have fewer units than our opponent does. Yeah, seeing as we're down 2 cards here anyway, there's no reason to try to contest this round, in my opinion. Looks like the opponent either had all the cards they wanted or they missed Oniro last round. But here they're able to get out Foglet, and they'll probably get the Consume in too. But this is going to be a spicy final round. That's absolutely for certain. So I also went for the Yen's Invo because this deck has a hard time dealing with super big plays. But we were able to get the opponent to play down 2 of the leader charges. Obviously, we played both of ours, which might have been a little bit too much, but that's what happens when I play decks on stream. So here, we get Letho Kingslayer with Roderick. If I can draw into him with one of these 2 cards, that would be preferable, though. Albrick really not useful at all here. Much better if you can get him an earlier round. I think the opponent here just trying to bait us out for the kill on this Icaran anyway. We're going to play Helga first. The opponent might play something like Predatory Dive that we've seen earlier today, but we're not going to have a great way of playing around that anyway. And one of the fun things, Roderick here actually does get us some flexibility, right? Alright, Forktail is a bit of a weird choice.
My blade. I trust you have sharpened.
But now we start loading charges into Helga. And one of the reasons I like to play it first, it does have that shield, and Fifion does spawn that battle prep, so we are able to get an extra charge into Helga. Somebody is complaining to me about... oh, this is actually a really smart play here. But this works out actually really well for us, because we're able to just go ahead, continue using these charges, and continue bulking up our units and setting up for the perfect Kelly plays. Obviously the banish there was a bit unfortunate. I forgot that Karate Heatwave is part of that deck. We can't all be geniuses. Certainly not me. We'll go for Fire Scorpion. Well, actually... yeah, let's go for Fire Scorpion. We'll use Roderick to get that Delta. To continue to have one more unit than the opponent does. Alright, Johnny works great for us. We'll just go ahead and use it on Morleham Hunter.
The hounds have caught this scent.
Kelly does need to be played to melee round, so that is something to keep in mind. As does Kahir. It's unfortunate to have to remove a unit. We probably could have played Kelly to get rid of it too, but the 3 points made it so it was difficult to do with Fire Scorpion. Alright, so this spawns a couple of drones, so now we're in a better position. We can actually go ahead and just drop Kelly now. If you want to be really mean, you could go double Kelly if we wanted to. With Letho. Here we're gonna go ahead and go for Kahir. Well, let's wait for a second. Let's go War Council first. So Albrecht actually plays with War Council a little bit better. I'm gonna play Albrecht actually here, and we'll target Letho. I do that because we have Roderick here, so we know we're gonna get Letho. Anticipate a kill onto Kelly. Naglfar coming in for Parasite to get that removal, which works fine for us. And now we can play Kahir down. So whatever the opponent plays, if it's boost, we're going to go ahead and take pure advantage of that. This is gonna be a close finish. I think we just won it. We needed them to make a slightly different play, but we. Oh no, it's a tie. Oh no, we lose because of Roderick. Oh man, that's unfortunate. We lose because of Roderick. We needed to get the double Kahir out earlier, so that was definitely on me. You can see how this deck could have got a win if you were a smarter person. Alright, we'll try one more game. Still trying to make Nilfgaard work. We played pretty well, but that wasn't my brightest of moments. We probably should have waited just to do Kelly last and used Fire Scorpion to control the drones and target down to what we wanted.
Make me laugh.
Is what it is. But coming into a bunch of monster stuff today. Alright, we'll continue to go for this Menno play. I like what we have so far, although I would prefer to have Albrecht. So maybe what we'll do is actually play Menno with Albrecht, but we'll start with like a Fire Scorpion. Divana Runestone is a very weird choice. Maybe they're going for a crazy play. You could actually do like Divana with and pray to get Wild Hunt Rider, and then you could get out 3 of them all at once. That could be kind of a cool play. But we'll just start with Fire Scorpion. They're also in here just because they're removal fodder. We had a deck a couple seasons ago that used Cyclops in like a Thrive deck. Weird, but it's not the worst play in the world. Here we'll use Menno here. We'll go Menno on to Albrecht and then target Fifion. That way Fifion comes out pre-boosted.
Clever maneuver.
So go Royal Decree. That also allows us some flexibility. So here we are able to boost up Fifion, which means that the lowest unit in deck is going to be either Roderick or Artorias, which is nice to kind of get them as pseudo tutors, specifically with a different tutor card. We'll just boost up Menno here.
Victory is on the wind.
We're still kind of in this round. The question is how deep and how far we want to go. We have 2 locks in the Van Morlehem Hunters. They also provide bleeds, so if we just need like a little bit of distance there, we can get some good value. This is an interesting play. Obviously that's not the best for us because I would have preferred a different tutor, but that works. We'll go here and we'll just go ahead and lock Karen. I really don't mind the pass from the opponent here. I'm gonna trade 2 smaller cards. That way we can preserve our gold core. So we'll go Van Morlehem Hunter here. We'll set up a bleed, and we'll go for Tourney Joust to shut it down. That gets us our good play. And for those of you watching, as soon as we finish up this game on Twitch, we're going to be moving into another deck for monsters, which is a little bit more competitive. And everyone on YouTube, that deck will already have been posted yesterday. Because as you know, Mondays are Massacre Mondays where we do Skellige. Tuesdays are Temerian Tuesdays where we do Northern Realms. Wednesdays are Wild Hunt Wednesdays where we do monsters. And Thursdays are Thirsty Thursdays where we do Nilfgaard. And upcoming we have Firesworn Fridays for Syndicate and Squirrel Saturdays for Scoia'tael. I do like Assassination, but I'm going to keep flipping through. We do get Artorias. I think we'll be targeting a Fire Scorpion as just like an extra card, and we'll play it behind our defender. I was really hoping to get Yen's Invo, and then I would have contemplated playing just a little bit to steal the Ikran. But this works fine for us. This is a weird play. I don't really understand it. So Operator just spawns. They don't actually play the card. So I now know that they have a Fiend in hand. But they didn't want to play it for some reason. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to go for the bonded with the Solano Harpy, where they can get an extra copy of the Solano Harpy and spawn 2 Harpy eggs that way. Wouldn't be the worst idea I've ever seen. I don't want to break into Roderick here. And the rest of these 3 are like okay, but not phenomenal. And these ones kind of give me options otherwise. So the lowest unit is going to be Roderick though, so that's unfortunate. So we're going to go ahead and just put that back. Because Roderick would just end up being a brick for us, as we had like perfect draws today. Obviously, Predatory Dive is something that gives me a little bit of anxiety. Not a lot I can do about it. So here, that being the case, we're going to go ahead and start with Artorias.
You will not regret this, sir.
We'll go with Fire Scorpion here. I do want to develop my Kahir pretty quickly. Interesting. Okay, so the goal here was to go for Offering to play out Fiend. I'm guessing to use drones for that. But we do get Artorias here, so we can go ahead and play down Helga. Then we'll play down Phyphion. But Artorias is the lowest unit, so Predatory Dive would just kill Artorias. And Letho's kind of the only other way we'd be playing that. Alright, so goal here, I'm guessing, is just get like a bunch of Fiend boosts.
There's order. And I'll see.
Oh, I forgot. We do also get the boost from that, so we will want to get a lower-ish unit out at some point. We could grasp for a Fire Scorpion, otherwise we'll be going for like an Assassination or Battle Prep. Yeah, welcome, Churn Woo. We're trying to get this deck to work out for us, but we really need to hurry and get Kahir down. My only question is gonna be, who do we want to copy? And against a monsters deck, Kahir is often an excellent choice to copy. Just because there's so much boosting that goes on and tall plays. Here they go again for another Fiend, so this makes sense. So they're going for double offering, and for those of you unfamiliar with this card, damage unit by 1. If you get a death blow, you play a bronze unit from your graveyard and give it doom. So the opponent set these Fiends into the graveyard and then consumed them to get these Death Wish cards as boosted as possible. And they are going to come out pre-boosted, so Kahir's not going to benefit from those specifically. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and get down. I do like Kahir getting the double boost, but I actually think what we want to do here is what I had suggested in the previous game. Just get double Helga. And the reason I want to do that specifically is because we have 1, 2, 3 tactics, and we're going to try to shoot for another 4th one, which is just an incredible amount of damage. Really great value if we can get that played out correctly. So Nero means that it wasn't played out of their deck. Here again, going for another boost. I'm trying to think of a Death Wish unit that wants to get so boosted. I don't know, but I'm guessing that a significant number of these cards are Death Wish. We'll go for Damien here just because we can have that set up ready to go. All this getting played to melee does kind of crowd our space just a little bit. This Purify's a little bit annoying, but we can just steal this Taskmaster.
You shall find none.
So that works for us for points. Then we'll go ahead here and use War Council. And we'll play Assassination, just the most points. And I think they're getting ready to target these Helgas. So we'll leave one with a couple charges. I also want to remove the 1-point units, so this isn't maximum value. But here just kind of purging off all the opponent's units in case it is a Glusty. But the opponent here, I'm guessing, going for the Purify on Helga just to get that shield off. Which is fine with me. We're going to go ahead and get it boosted up. And I'm not damaging this 5-point unit because we can go ahead and use the Enslave to sling it over to our side. Super boosted Noon Wraith. I'm not 100% sure what the opponent's going for here. We're just going to save Yen's Invo, so here we'll go for maximum damage onto the Noon Wraith. And go ahead and delete just some of these drones in case it is a Glusty. I think we have put the game away, but just to cover all bases, I think we're going to go ahead and do that. Although Glusty only plays for essentially 6 points with Kahir. I don't know what the opponent was hoping to get out of this game. But there you go. We finally got a win. For those of you who wanted to see a win with Nilfgaard, you just have to play a really crazy monsters deck. So thank you for joining on YouTube. For those of you on Twitch, we're going to go into our next deck. But for those of you on YouTube, thank you so much for joining. Good luck on the path. Get out there. Keep on Gwenting.